And today I'd like to share with you about meditation or bodhicitta. In the Lotus Sutra, Buddha said that all good action not be originated from bodhicitta are wrong practice because bodhicitta is a means of transformation. We can transform our negative thought into positive thoughts. So anything good done with bodhicitta, we can get a lot of merit. And bodhicitta considered as the king of Mahayana. Everything can be changed into merit and wisdom when we practice bodhicitta. And when we practice bodhicitta, we can go on the path, the great path of Bodhisattva and the Buddha. And when we collect enough merit and wisdom, we have a good chance to practice bodhicitta. And in the teachings in the book, The Wish Fulfilling Tool by Diego Consent, he said that one can sit on meditation and recite mantra for years, while another practice Dhamma in daily activities. The second practitioner can get enlightenment faster because they use daily activities as a means of Dhamma practice and change the worldly environment into spiritual condition. So, from where does every single happiness, both temporary and ultimate, of every single sentient being come? This is from bodhicitta. And what the medicine of every suffering that sentient being experience is a bodhicitta too. Therefore, there's no limit to benefit of bodhicitta. There's no way to realize how much merit you can collect with it, and you can say it this much is immeasurable. The merits you can collect with bodhicitta are numberless, a lot of. And with the mind bodhicitta, we each breath in or breath out can become a cause for happiness of all sentient beings. And with the pure attitude of bodhicitta, every breath you take benefits each sentient being, and with each breath, with every action, we can create the sky of marriage. Therefore, if you want to collect a condition necessary to attaining realization on the path of enlightenment, you should put your own effort into develop your precious mind of bodhicitta. So that said, every single happiness from that of full enlightenment to liberation from samsara and the happiness of future life, down to even the happiness in this life depends on merit, on good karma, and the way to get the good karma to create merit through bodhicitta. So it's by practicing bodhicitta, meditation on bodhicitta, the practitioner can collect a lot of merit and benefit ourselves and other people, other all sentient beings. And the merit you collect with bodhicitta are a lot of inexhaustible, uneasy. It doesn't stop until you reach enlightenment. Even after you reach enlightenment, it continues. And you continuously experience the result. You might remain the state of peerless happiness. That's why you should put all your daily life effort, everything we do in our life, into developing bodhicitta. Whenever you're happy or unhappy, whenever you encounter problems or are problem-free, whatever your circumstance, favorable or unfavorable, whatever condition you find yourself in, you must put every single effort into this, into living your life with the attitude of bodhicitta. So how to keep the thought of bodhicitta all the time uninterruptedly? Guru Thi Lê Nguyên Thành made the method very easy to practice along with our daily activity by making prayers along with our daily activities. And we can learn by heart, and we can think of the all sentient being all the time and develop bodhicitta, compassion, kindness, loving to other people, benefits other people, because mind is the forerunner, is the first thing. If your mind always think of the all sentient being and want to do benefit to all sentient beings, it means your action, body, and speech can do for all sentient beings and help them to free from suffering and get enlightenment. So this method is very, very, very easy. So I would like to share with you today. For example, when we eat, we can say, may all sentient beings eat the Buddha food. And when we drink, we can say, may all sentient beings drink the Buddha Amrita. It means Buddha drinking. And we stand up, we can say, may all sentient beings have appearance of a Buddha. When we sit down, we can say, may all sentient beings have a Buddha. And we open the door, we can say, may all sentient beings open the door that leads to the city of liberation. And we close the door, we can say, may all sentient beings close the door that leads to the lower realms. And when we're happy, we can say, may all sentient beings attain the happiness of Buddha nature. When we in the bad mood, we can say, may all sentient beings suffering be end. And we wake up, we can say, all sentient being awakened in the light state, and go to bed, we can say, all sentient being achieve the Dhammakaya. And go out, we can say, may I start on the path to liberate all sentient beings from samsara. And we make a fire, we can say, may all sentient beings burn out all the emotion of suffering. So with these very short and easy learn by heart prayer, we can keep our thought of bodhicitta, think the benefit of all sentient beings, and day by day we can benefit ourselves and other people, and we can collect the merit and wisdom to go on the path enlightenment. I myself practiced this method for a long time, and now I will share this method for many people to practice to end suffering and get happiness in this life and next life. So I am very happy and blessed to hear, to share with you from the teaching of the Buddha, and then we can and I would like to learn from you from another method that I can practice by myself to help me and other people on the path of enlightenment. And I wish our seminar is successful from beginning to the end. And I wish all of you may be safe, peaceful, and attain happiness of Buddha nature. Thank you very much for me to enjoy today with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and thank you for your thought-provoking ideas. Ma'am and I, we both are the disciple of same Guru, and we are learning Bajrayana Buddhism with the Holy Guru. So, ma'am is my Dhamma sister, and she has appointed me the 5-year visiting faculty in Thantri Institute of Vietnam also. So, thank you very much, ma'am, for your words and for your time.
Thank you very much.
Now I would like to invite our guest of honor, Professor Uljit Luksanjav sir. And sir is my teacher of Mongolian language. He is the executive director of Choi Luksanjav University of Language and Culture, Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. And he is a visiting faculty of Center of Korean Studies, School of Language, Literature and Cultural Studies, JNU, New Delhi. Sir, please address the audience. Uljit sir.
Namaste. Good morning, distinguished guests, professor, students, and friends from the Marvaya College and Global. Thank you very much for inviting me in this seminar and giving me opportunity to speak about the Buddhist teaching through Mongolian sources. I want to talk a little bit about Mongolia because we're talking about Mongolian Buddhism. And it's important to know about Mongolia. Mongolia is located in the East Asia, surrounded by Russia and China, which makes it landlocked. Also the world's 19th largest country, it means around half of India. Mongolia is a democratic republic with multi-party parliament. The Mongolia is traditionally governed by emperors, which were nomadic. In 1206, the Mongol empire was founded by Genghis Khan. His grandson Hubla Khan took over China to set up the Yuan dynasty, which lasted until 1369. Traditionally, Mongols worshipped shamanism and blue sky. The Buddhism is the philosophy which connected many countries. Buddhist teaching is originated and developed in India for over 2,500 years, developed further the north, reaching various countries of the world. Buddhism was taught to Mongolia straight from India. Buddhism development is considered when during the Hunu period. Hunu period means 209 BCE to 93 CE. Buddhism was split in the 14th century during the Hubei Han's rule. The late stage of the Buddhism development is passed from the India in the 16th century through Tibet. Therefore, during the above mentioned Buddhism development, Mongolians have developed Buddhism culture following the territorial people's way of thinking, custom, language, cultural feature. Scholars of Buddhism in Tibet wrote that Mongolia has ancient relations with India. Mongolia and India have not only long historical relations, but also have deep Buddhist literary ties. Because of geographical situation and lack of direct communication system, Mongol-India ties in the past were mainly more indirect rather than direct through the countries of the Central Asia and Tibet. The Indian missionaries had visited Central Asian and Mongolian much before than Tibetan monks did so. There are interesting details about two Indian missionaries who visited the court of the Hunus rulers at the close of the 5th century BC. The Mongolian Kanjur and Danjur are unique collections of the Buddhist encyclopedia containing works by ancient Indian and Tibetan authors on various branches of human knowledge. These great collections originally were completed in the 14th century by the Tibetan scholar Robdung Rinchen Do. Kanjur's translation was completed into Mongolia, 108 volumes in 1720 by the edict of the Legding Han, who originated in Mongolia from the 1604 to 1634. The major project was carried out by the group of the translators of 60 scholars. The translation of Tanjore, 226 volumes, was completed in 1722 by the 200 translators. Over 1,200 works with nearly 90,000 pages of the Kanjur and their translation into Mongolian language had started in the 13th century and completed 17th century. The Kanjur translation contains the great Indian literary works started from the linguistics to philosophy. The 14th century Indian scholar Santideva, writing poetry, comments of the philosophy to title the Bodhisattva, as well Lord Buddha's genealogy, and so Mongolians not only accepted Buddhism but also future development it through their own tangible contributions. Bodhisattva correction Mongol Lama Agwan Damba wrote in Tibetan language, published through Indian scholar Lokachandra in New Delhi in 1981. It is valuable to be noted that the works of Afghan Damba was published in Raghuvera's Satipataka series in volume 260 and 261. The book was published by his son Lakshmandra, the original copy of which was given by my father, Charles Lobsonjo, to him in Prague in 1979. The Lakshmandra ji highlighted in his book Buddhism across the grassland of the Genghis Khan, the page number 308, the Professor Lobsonjo acknowledged the printed volumes, the publication of them, in fact, it's your good deeds for the cultural relation between our peoples, is also ray of the lamp light which was the first kindled by your memorious father. These incidents have deep historical bearing on the Indian Mongolian scholars who were involved in developing spiritual relations during those challenging times. Following their footsteps, I am striving to promote India-Mongolian academic partnership. The rituals of the Mongolian Buddhist religion are in different parts of the people's spirit, culture, and life because Mongolia have been practicing Buddhism for many centuries now. There are many kinds of customs, habits, and rituals related to the Buddhist religion. One of them is religious mask dancing, named as a Tsam. The Tsam is the main ritual ceremony in the Buddhist monasteries. Buddhism will contribute to a better understanding of the historical, social, and cultural contexts within which Buddhism has operated a major social and cultural force among the Mongols. The beauty of Mongolian Buddhism lies in the acceptance of its life world with a philosophical explanation of each and every action and the relation to the whole cosmos. In this sense, it is bigger than the philosophy of humanism, where love and compassion to whole cosmos are in practice. It's interesting to see how, in the 31st century, Mongols are speedily returning to global stage with their lost Mongolian Buddhism identity. And thank you to my dear student, Dr. Vikas Singh, for inviting me this conference. I congratulate principal of the conference for this conference. Thank you very much for your attention.
Bairla, sir. Bairla Vaksta.
Bairda, namaskar.
Bairta. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words. And now I would like to invite our chief guest, Venerable Professor Lanigal Srinivasan, Dean Language Faculty, Buddhist and Pali University of Sri Lanka, for his speech. Venerable Lanigal Srinivasan.
Have a nice day to you all. I was waiting for this speech before the 12 o'clock. I have to take my lunch. That is why I informed to Vikas Singh to give me the chance before that. So I am so happy to join with this conference. Especially, I would like to get the permission from the chairperson, Professor Upendra Rao. He's one of my friends. We have met in many times, and also all the distinguished scholars and guest students. When we think about the universal teachings of the Buddha, we have to talk many things, but according to the time management, we have only 10 minutes. We will discuss in brief the things related to this great philosophy. The Buddhism is a universal philosophy, universal teaching, and also the Buddha, Buddha also a universal religious leader or philosopher. His teaching is actually for the all human beings. It's not only for the Indians, Sri Lankans, Thai persons, Myanmar persons, or many other persons who are living in the world. This philosophy is universal. Sometimes we think Buddhism is belong to us. Indians things like that. Sri Lankan people also think like that. Oh, Buddhism is belong to us. We have to protect it. It's completely belong to us like that. Uh, okay, better to think in that manner. However, we have to think this philosophy is a universal one. It's for all the human beings. The teaching is very common to all the persons in the world. Anyone can follow it, though he is a Muslim person or Christian person or Hindu person or any other person. Anyone can follow this philosophy without having any disturbances. Uh, in the beginning, Dr. Vikas Singh recited the 5 precepts. He observed 5 precepts. Actually, we have to observe 5 precepts. These 5 precepts also universal. The teaching, universal teaching of the Buddha, not to kill other persons. This is a universal teaching. We have to allow the beings to live on this earth. There is no any privilege to kill other persons. We can't kill even an ant or mosquito or serpent or any animal or any being. We can't kill according to this great philosophy, because all beings are having a privilege to live on this earth. We should not kill them with the full of compassion, according to the 4 sublime status such as metta, karuna, mudita, and upekha. We have to practice this great philosophy as human beings. No need to consider about the ethnic groups or different kinds of country persons. Just we have to give this message to all the universal beings and also universal human beings, especially. They have to protect this great philosophy. They have to follow this great philosophy. In Buddhism, there are main teachings, as you all know: Four Noble Truths, theory of dependent origination, 3 characteristics, and also Noble Eightfold Path. Then also we can add to it the Kamma. When we consider about the Four Noble Truths, it's very clear that the suffering is everywhere. When we get happiness, when we enjoy, that one also will end with the suffering. This is the teaching of the Buddha. Why? When we get pleasure from the sense organs, we attach to those things, we develop the cravings, tanha, then we attach in as a bondage to those sensual objects. Then it becomes upadana. After the deep attachment of these things, it may be a cause for the birth cycle. That is the thing. When we get birth again and again, it is a cause of suffering. Jatipi dukkha, jarapi dukkha, maranampi dukkhang, vyadipi dukkhang, and also api sampayogo dukkho, etc. So all these attachments are producing the suffering to all the beings, not only for the human beings, but also the other beings also. Dukkha is the suffering is the main teaching of the Buddha in according to the Four Noble Truth. We have to find the reason for this suffering. Reason is the tanha, and we have to find the way of cessation of this suffering, nirodha satya, and also the path to the cessation of the suffering. It is called Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold Path is included in Four Noble Truth. When we consider about the Noble Eightfold Path, we have eight limbs of that teaching. So according to the teaching of the Buddha, Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vacha, and so on. So these eight limbs are divided into Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Sila, Samadhi, Panya is a universal teaching of the Buddha. All human beings must observe the precepts for the Sila. Sila means the peaceful and calm nature of the person. Samadhi means the concentration. We have to concentrate our mind to reach the final goal. All the persons can do it. Then panya means wisdom. The panya is especially described in Buddhism as the vipassana panya. Understanding the reality of the world as anicca, dukkha, anatta. We have to understand this life, this body, these internal objects, and also these outer objects, outworld objects are impermanent. And also when we attach to these things, it produces dukkha. If we attach to these things, it may be a cause for the birth cycle. That is why we have to consider them as anatta. Anatta means selflessness. We should not take any objects, internal or external objects, as my or mine. This is the great philosophy of the Buddha. That is why it is called anatta. Anicca, dukkha, and anatta is the great teaching of the Buddha. These three facts are explained as three characteristics. When we meditate on vipassana, we consider in a deep manner about internal and external objects. They all are leading to these three characteristics: anicca, dukkha, and anatta. When we think about the dependent origination, this is the theory of the birth cycle. Buddha explained because of the avidya or ignorance, we increase cravings. So when we increase the cravings, it may be a cause for the birth cycle. Upadana pacca bhavo pacca jati jara mana marana soka parideva, etc. So these sufferings are coming from the attachment of those cravings. When we think about the other teachings of the Buddha, Kamma is a universal teaching. When we do bad things, we will reap bad results. When we do good things, we will reap good results. There's a verse in Dhammapada, Yadisang vapate bijan tadisang harate palang. Whatever we sow, we will see the result according to the seeds, whatever we sow. Yadisang vapate bijan, tadisang harate palang. When we sow paddy on the paddy field, we will get the paddy rice. So that is the nature of the results of action. This is very common fact in the world. If the human beings are doing bad things, so it will produce bad results. When we consider about our life, that doctrine is very clearly experienced by us. If we do bad things by using our words or thoughts or our body, we will reap bad results. This is very common, universal teaching. Karma is a universal teaching of the Buddha. I think we don't have much time to talk. I have to wind up my speech. Thank you for giving this chance. Thank you for the invitation. Especially Dr. Vikas Singh is always connected with us. And I would like to say you all, may you attain Nibbana as soon as possible. Follow the Buddhist philosophy. Think it as a universal teaching. It is not belong to the Sri Lankans or Thai people or Myanmar. It is belong to all the human beings. Thank you very much.
And thanks, Venerable, for your kind speech. And thank you very much for joining in that crucial period which Sri Lanka is facing there. So thank you very much, Venerable. Now I would like to invite Venerable Bhikkhu Moriyar Buddha, the member of Minority Commission, Government of Tamil Nadu, for speak about the topic. Venerable Moriyar Buddha. Venerable, you are there? I think there is a problem in network problem, Venerable. So now I invite our respected chairperson of the inaugural session, my guru, my teacher and my supervisor, Professor C. Upendra Rao sir, School of Sanskrit and Indic Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, who is a great scholar of Buddhism and Buddhist philosophy, as well as Pali, Prakrit, Sanskrit, Telugu and Russian languages. So I invite Professor C. Upendra Rao sir to shower his blessing. Sir. सर अनम्यूट कीजिए अपने आप को सर. सर आवाज नहीं आ रही आपकी सर. म्यूट है आप. अनम्यूट कीजिएगा सर. तो देखिएगा सर जुड़ेंगे दोबारा से.
लेफ्ट हुआ है
दोबारा
दोबारा तो खुद ही जुड़ जाएंगे.
जुड़ गए. सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. तो तभी दिक्कत हो रही थी सर के में उस समय भी जुड़ने में प्रॉब्लम थी सुबह ना.
Excuse me, we cannot hear properly.
Yeah. Rao sir, you are not audible sir. राव सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है बिल्कुल भी। नहीं आ रही सर। सर आपका शायद साउंड बढ़ाइएगा, शायद सिस्टम में साउंड नहीं आ रही होगी।
Still, we cannot hear.
Sir, we are not listening you, sir. I think, sir, join the another mobile you have. If you have any other device, yeah, sir, please join from that device.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. I think there is some problem in, I don't know, first time I'm facing such problem in entire night because my computer is very, very perfect computer. I don't know.
Okay, sir.
It's all right now. We say Shreyamsi Bahu Vignan. So I think it is clear now because can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. You are perfect.
Okay, then I'm very happy that Department of Sanskrit, Marwadi College, from LN Mithila University, Darbhanga, is organizing Universal Teachings of Buddha, International Seminar on Universal Teachings of Buddha. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the college, Department of Sanskrit, particularly Dr. Vikas, who is taking all these efforts to convene, even though sitting in remote place, he's organizing international seminar in befitting time, because this is the month in which we are getting the Buddha Purnima, so Buddha Jayanti also in the May. So it is very, very auspicious to remember Buddha in this month. Otherwise, we would have lost the opportunity. So I appreciate, therefore, once again, the Sanskrit Department, Marwadi College of Lalita Narayan University, Darbhanga, and I appreciate the organizing committee, entire organizing committee, and also I appreciate the technical support committee, and those who have participated in our inaugural session. Chief guest is very much known to me, Srinivasa, because this name itself is so appealing to Indians. When we met Bhante in Kerala, we have discussed about this name. I asked Srinivasa, Srinivasa is very appealing name. And Bhante Srinivasa is basically teaching Sanskrit in Sri Lanka, not Pali. So he's very much interested in Sanskrit and Sanskrit books, Sanskrit texts. We should also remember when we speak about the Buddhism, there are so many factors. I'm not going into details. When we speak about the Buddhism, often we think about the Pali, but this is a great mistake. We should also think about the Sanskrit, because Sanskrit has a lot of contribution for Buddhism, not only Pali. Because those who think Pali only is the base of Buddhism are not aware the history of Buddhism. So therefore, you should know, once again, you should read what happened in Third Council, what happened in Second Council, what was the history of Buddhism, and what is the role of Sanskrit in Buddhism. And that you should know, because particularly when you are convening the international conference from Sanskrit department, you should understand the connection between Sanskrit and Buddhism. And that's why I think it is very relevant when you invited Venerable Srinivasa, who knows Sanskrit also from Sri Lanka, and also Kanhaiyaji Jha, the principal. I appreciate him, Dr. Kanhaiyaji Jha, for encouraging such programs from the college. And today's keynote speaker, Professor Ramesh Prasad, has, as usual, he has given a very good speech about the Buddhism. He speaks in depth of Buddhism, and because he knows the secrets of Buddhism, and he very well explained in Hindi. And a special guest, Professor Nguyen Thi Thai Nga, who is the head of the Department of Science and Technology from Vietnam, also spoke very well, because Vietnam is a country in which we have Buddhism as predominant religion. But in Vietnam, I visited Vietnam 3 times. I even taught Sanskrit in Vietnam. They are very much eager to know the Buddhist philosophy and the Buddhist history from India. It's quite natural that Buddhism was born in India, and Buddhism developed in India, entire Buddhist literature developed in India. It is only, even Pali Tripitakas are developed in India. Therefore, I always request them, instead of translating always from Chinese, it is better to translate directly from Sanskrit to Vietnamese, directly from Pali to Vietnamese. So I am very happy to see one professor from Vietnam today, and also from JNU, Dr. Uljit Luasanjau. He's teaching their Mongolian language in School of Language and Literature in JNU. He's also present. Even Mongolia has a lot of influence of Buddhism. So ultimately, by the participation of candidates, scholars from all over and various parts of the world, it is quite relevant, and it is quite evident that Buddha's teachings have influenced the entire world. It is quite evident. And you have given the name universal teachings of the Buddha, because Buddha's teachings are very much universal, and Buddha's teachings have influenced all nations. Buddha's teachings have influenced all nations, not only in India. Buddha's teachings have influenced all nations in Europe as well as in Asia. And Buddha's philosophy was a favorite idea with the Stoics, and it found favor in Schopenhauer, von Hartmann, and other modern philosophers. I think you are audible because there is no any problem. If there is any problem, please let me know. Okay?
Okay, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. So in this way, Buddha's teachings have influenced the entire world. That is why they are universal teachings. Buddhism offers a large field of knowledge that has not only entered but also influenced a large part of the world. Buddha's teachings have entered into Sri Lanka, Burma, Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, and other countries in Southeast Asia, Tibet, Central Asia, China, Mongolia, Korea, and Japan. When we say they have entered into all these countries, normally in the long history of Buddhism, people forget from where they have entered into all these countries. Buddha's universal teachings have entered into all these countries from India. And the humanistic values hidden in the teachings of Buddha have influenced the history and culture of these countries. All these countries, linguistically, culturally, were influenced by the Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist culture. And Buddhist culture, Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist ethics are not different from the Indian culture. So in this way, Indian culture has traveled across the borders, entire the world through Buddhism. So the humanistic values and teachings of Lord Buddha have influenced the history and cultures of these countries. They gave rise to many literary, philosophical works in those countries. The values of Buddha Dharma, not only humanistic, but also spiritual. After Buddha's Mahaparinirvana, when his path turned to be a religion named Buddhism, Buddhism became religion after many days of Buddha. Because when Buddha was living, there was no Buddhism. So that's why when it became Buddhism, it has spread the spiritual values also. Buddhism was a powerful spiritual force in the world. Normally, why I am saying spiritual, normally people think that Buddhism always they keep Buddhism with the ethics. They always, whenever we speak in India, they think that Buddha only taught the only ethical values, only moral values. But Buddha's teachings of various kinds. Buddha's teachings contain deep philosophical values and also moral values. Just now, Venerable Srinivasa was telling that Buddha's teachings are three kinds of basic teachings of Buddha: anicca, dukkha, anatta. They are the basic concepts. They are the basic concepts. They are the basic because Buddha did not want to start a religion because he himself wanted to know the truth. So in the quest of his truth, he found answers to his queries. His main problem was the dukkha, like in Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya says, Kapila says, dukkhatrayabhigata jignasa tad apaghatake hedav. So in the same way, Buddha also searched the ways for the cessation of the suffering. So that's why people say that the entire Buddha's teachings can be found in two Arya Satyas: dukkho, dukkha, nirodho. That's all. That is what actually Buddha's teachings. Buddha found that there is a suffering in the world, and he found a everybody found there is a suffering, but Buddha's finding of the suffering was very unique. It was entirely different. So he found that there is a suffering, and this suffering is originating. That is why it can be stopped also. There can be cessation also. So these are the basic principles of Buddha, basic teachings of Buddha. But Buddha also gave so many moral and ethical values for householders also. We cannot always say to going to householder, like students and householders, all of a sudden you cannot say that this samsara is anicca, dukkha, nothing is there. They can't understand if you say like that, because they are living in the samsara. Because they have to live in the samsara. So for them also, Buddha has given so many teachings. That is why Buddha has spiritual values. Buddha has so many spiritual values. And that is why in this process only, Buddha has given several advices, and Buddha has several approaches also, like they are surely benefiting to the humankind, human society. One of them, only one I tell you, one of them is adhibuddhi. Adhibuddhi means open-mindedness. This is very, very important. This is the most interesting value. This is the capacity of the mind to keep self. This is the capacity of the mind to keep itself open during the times when new messages are coming to us. If somebody is telling something good, you should keep your mind open. You should not be arrogant. You should not think that I know everything. So this is adhibuddhi. And the same thing was explained in Vedas also. Ano badra kratavo yattu vishvata. So this is the human value, and the tolerance is the human value. And then he says 5 fundamental values, rules of the conduct of the Buddha Dharma. They are called Panchashila. That's very, very important for householders also, for everybody. That's what I was telling. You cannot say directly to householder that anicca, dukkha, anatta. But for them, actually, I think we had to teach this. Kill not any living beings. Number 1, panatipata veramani sikkhapadam. And then steal not others' belongings. And number 3, commit not adultery. And number 4, lie not, satyam vada. And number 5, drink no intoxicants. Sura niraya majjat pamadatthana. So these 5 values are very, very important for householders. So these are the human values, universal values, also universal teachings of Buddha. Because Buddha's teachings are universal and they are very, very manifold and they are very deep. You cannot say within 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And first of all, we should understand Buddha's universal teachings in proper manner, with a great interest in, with our philosophical mind, with our moral bent of mind. Only then you can understand. So, with all these things, I once again appreciate the college, Marwadi College, for organizing such a good international conference. I appreciate and I thank all the speakers in the inaugural session. Thank you very much, Dr. Vikas and others, for giving me this opportunity.
थैंक यू सर. और सर तो बस सुनाते रहे और हम सुनते रहे हैं. 8 साल का सफर सर के साथ तय किया है. एमए से लेके एमफिल पीएचडी मेरा सर के अंडर में ही है. तो गुरु के सम्मुख सर हमेशा गुरु ही रहेंगे हमारे, और उनके सम्मुख हम अभी भी सीख रहे हैं. हर बार सर से कुछ नया नया सीखते हैं. तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर आपका समय देने के लिए. एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर सच मोटिवेटिंग एंड इंस्पिरेशनल थॉट्स सर. Now I would like to call upon Dr. R.N. Chaurasia sir, Head and Associate Professor and Bursar, Department of Sanskrit, CM College, Lalit Narayan Mithila University, Darbhanga, Bihar, for giving vote of thanks.
Thank you, Vikas ji. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद विकास जी. मारवाड़ी महाविद्यालय, ललित नारायण मिथिला विश्वविद्यालय दरभंगा के संस्कृत विभाग द्वारा आयोजित भगवान बुद्ध की सार्वभौमिक शिक्षाएं विषयक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सेमिनार
वेबिनार के उद्घाटन सत्र के चेयरपर्सन प्रोफेसर सी उपेंद्र राव, स्कूल ऑफ संस्कृत एंड एडिक स्टडीज JNU दिल्ली, उनका मैं धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करता हूँ। सर ने बहुत ही विस्तार से बुद्ध शिक्षाओं की सार्वभौमिकता पर अपने उद्गार व्यक्त किए। मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर लेनेगल श्रीनिवास, डीन लैंग्वेज फैकल्टी, बुद्धिस्ट एंड पाली विश्वविद्यालय ऑफ श्रीलंका, उनका भी सादर आभार। उन्होंने अपने विचारों से हमें लाभान्वित किया। उद्घाटन वक्तव्य देने के लिए डॉक्टर अवधेश प्रसाद यादव, बरसर मारवाड़ी महाविद्यालय दरभंगा, की नोट स्पीकर प्रोफेसर रमेश प्रसाद सर, डीन फैकल्टी ऑफ श्रवण विद्या संपूर्णानंद संस्कृत विश्वविद्यालय वाराणसी सर, इसके जस्ट एक सप्ताह के पहले भी उनका विचार हम लोग को सुनने का मौका मिला था कार्ल मार्क्स और बुद्ध पर। आज के इस उद्घाटन सत्र के सम्मानित अतिथि प्रोफेसर उलजीत लोबसानजव, ये कहाँ से हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लैंग्वेज एंड कल्चर उलान बटोल मंगोलिया, उनका वाइस चांसलर भी है सर, उनका सादर आभार इस उद्घाटन सत्र में अपने बहुमूल्य वक्तव्य देने के लिए। साथ ही साथ विशिष्ट अतिथि के रूप में प्रोफेसर गुएन थी हुएगा, HOD साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, थान श्री इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइकोलॉजी रिसर्च एंड योगा एप्लीकेशन वियतनाम, और साथ ही साथ स्थानीय रूप में स्वागतकर्ता के रूप में डॉक्टर सुनीता कुमारी, अध्यक्ष सोशियोलॉजी विभाग मारवाड़ी महाविद्यालय दरभंगा, और धम्म पाल गाथा के लिए डॉक्टर प्रहलाद सोरावत, थाईलैंड से जुड़े तमाम अतिथियों का स्वागत और धन्यवाद ज्ञापन। विशेष रूप से आज के इस कार्यक्रम के संयोजक एवं मारवाड़ी महाविद्यालय के संस्कृत विभागाध्यक्ष डॉक्टर विकास सिंह जी का विशेष रूप से धन्यवाद करता हूं, जो आज की तरह ही बारंबार राष्ट्रीय अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कार्यक्रमों को आयोजित कर विभिन्न विद्वानों के विचारों को हम लोगों को सुनने का मौका प्रदान करते रहते हैं, और ये बहुत ही उत्साही और हम लोगों के लिए बहुत महाविद्यालय विश्वविद्यालय के लिए एसेट हैं, जिनके आगमन से, जिनके यहाँ सेवा प्रारंभ करने से मिथिलांचल में एक शैक्षणिक सामाजिक क्रांति आई हुई है। इसके अलावा तमाम श्रोता, विभिन्न महाविद्यालयों के शिक्षक, शोधार्थी, विद्यार्थी जो मिथिला विश्वविद्यालय के साथ ही भारत के अन्य विश्वविद्यालयों और विश्व के विश्वविद्यालयों से जो भी जुड़े हैं, सबों का आयोजकों की ओर से, मारवाड़ी महाविद्यालय संस्कृत विभाग की ओर से सादर आभार और धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your speech and welcome. Vote of thanks. And we will end this session with Dhammapalan Gatha. Before Dhammapalan Gatha, there will some announcement. The feedback form for each session is mandatory for participation certificate. And please don't say the group. And no one news presenter is allowed for presenting a paper. It is requested for guests and speakers for following the time limit strictly. The technical session will start from 2 p.m. and that session will be chaired by Professor Ritwala and coordinated by Dr. Dhirendra Singh. There will be 20 speakers from different parts of India and abroad. Valedictory session will be start at evening from 6 p.m. So now I would like to invite Dr. Prabhlas Soravat Assistant Professor Mohan Chulang from Raj Vidyalaya University, Thailand. Venerable Kodhama Palangaka.
Morning, everyone. Today we discuss about the Guru self, the Dhamma teaching of the Buddha. So I think this is very interesting for human beings, not only Buddhism, not only Buddhism is subjective, but we share, I will be share the Dhamma taught by the Buddha to order to human beings because of the Buddha taught not only the Buddhism, but human beings. We respect each other, we share the living kindness each other by the teaching today. I still study professor, lecturer, dissertation about the Dhamma by the Buddha. It was very good for order. So thank you very much for Dr. Bukasi to eventually come to Kapala, short word by Badi Empires. Together, this is the Dhamma, the Buddha, etc. Very important to present to order. Sattva Pasha Aparana Pusasu Pasambata Sarita Pariyotamana Piyatama Asana Achite Saranam Parijam Putto Vene Saranam Padam Ete Nasatavate Nam Ete Makaram Achite Saranam Parijam Amamte Saranam Padam Ete Nasatavate Nam Ete Makaram Achite Saranam Parijam Sampo Saranam Padam Ete Nasatavate Nam Ete Makaram successfully and happiness together and logically happiness also. Thank you very much.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we will end this session here. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will join again in 2 p.m. for technical session. Thank you very much for all kind listeners and speakers and all guys. Thank you.